Hey Simmers, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into the different camera types in The Sims 4. I'm going to show you how they all work, what makes them different, and how you can use them to your advantage. So grab a cuppa, fire up The Sims 4, and let's get simming. So once again, we're starting from our lot in Willow Creek. Now let's talk about the camera controls themselves first off. If you look up here, you'll see the camera controls and the camera icons. Now these are visible both in build mode and live mode, making them useful whether you're designing a dream home or playing with your sim. So click on the camera control button and you'll see the slider for zooming, your buttons to rotate, and the options for your camera modes, as well as your top-down view. When I want to zoom in or out, for example, I use the scroll wheel on my mouse. It's way more intuitive, especially since I'm already holding my mouse, and it means I don't have to drag my cursor all the way to the corner of the screen. The same goes for rotating the camera. Instead of clicking these rotate view arrows, I just use my right mouse button to rotate, or the comment period keys, or the less than greater than signs on your keyboard, which is next to the M key, by the way. And it's just so much quicker to do. So when you're building, you'll be spinning around and zooming in and out constantly. So learning all of these shortcuts will save you a ton of time by keeping you out of that menu. Now you might be thinking, when would I open up this menu then? Honestly, I barely do. Even when I want to switch between The Sims 4 and Sims 3 cameras or pop into top-down view, I use keyboard shortcuts. If you haven't watched my previous video on keyboard shortcuts, feel free to pause this video, head over to that video, watch all the keyboard shortcuts, download the cheat sheet that I made for you, and you'll be golden. If you don't have time to do that, I'll run you through the shortcuts really quick. So to toggle between Sims 4 and Sims 3 cameras, it is Control-Shift-Tab on your keyboard. And you'll notice that when I click on them, it toggles between those two cameras up above. Now, I typically stick with the Sims 4 camera for gameplay, but when I'm building, I tend to bounce between both. The Sims 4 camera is very simple and easy to maneuver. The Sims 3 camera unlocks features like freely rotating objects, letting you place things at perfect jaunty angles. Now, moving to top view is another easy shortcut. Just press the T key on your keyboard, and boom, your camera immediately shifts to this overhead perspective. Press the T key again to snap back with your default position. Again, you can click the UI button for this, but I find it much more easier to use the keyboard for pretty much everything camera related. Now, let's break down the default camera, which is the Sims 4 camera. This camera is super easy to use. If you're holding your mouse, you can click and drag to move the screen around. Now this is a huge difference from the Sims 3 camera. This click and drag movement makes it effortlessly to navigate around your lot. One thing you'll notice is that you're viewing your build from this fixed angle. And no matter if you zoom in or zoom out, that angle stays consistent. Also, if you want to freely rotate objects using Alt in build mode, you need to be in the Sims 3 camera. The Sims 4 camera is fantastic for beginners. If you're looking to get a bit more advanced, or you've played The Sims 3 before, you can switch to the Sims 3 camera because it gives you so much more creative freedom in build mode. Now I can almost hear you thinking, Muir, you keep talking about this freedom with the Sims 3 camera. What do you mean? Alright, well let me show you. If we go to the Sims 3 camera, as you can see, I can no longer click and drag. I'm clicking on my mouse button and trying to drag, and it's not letting me. Instead, you use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move around. Now the real magic happens when you click and hold the scroll button on your mouse and move your mouse around. And now you can freely rotate the camera. You can go up or down, and you can even get right down. If I find my Sims, you can get right down to your Sims level, tilt the camera, and there we go. This truly gives you so much more control over how you view your build, as well as how you play the game. Using the Sims 3 camera, you can see how your build looks like from the side, the front, and literally every angle imaginable. Even when using this camera, you can still press the T key to go to top view and use your scroll wheel for zooming. If you want to move the camera without using your keyboard, you can hold down the right mouse button and drag. Now, for me, this is a bit less intuitive than the simple click and drag of the Sims 4 camera, which is why I often swap between the two. And also with the Sims 3 camera, if you notice, when I'm dragging, the camera doesn't immediately stop like it does with the Sims 4 camera. Instead, it picks up speed and then slows down before finally stopping. Another reason I tend to switch back to the Sims 4 camera is that after using the Sims 3 camera for a while, the angles can sometimes get a bit jumbled, and going back to the Sims 4 camera resets your view to the default angle. Beyond the arrow keys, I also use page up and down to quickly switch between floors, and home and end to change the wall view. Now, these little tricks make navigating your builds much smoother, all without ever needing to open that main camera menu. Now, let's talk about the two camera modes I mentioned earlier that many simmers don't even know exist. First-person camera mode and cinematic camera. Let's jump into live mode and I'll show you how they work. To enter first-person camera mode, simply click Shift-Tab on your keyboard. This instantly shifts your view to your active Sim's perspective. You can look around with your mouse and move your Sim as well. You can even spin their head all the way around, kind of like something out of The Exorcist. The small marker in the middle, or the reticle in the middle, shows your Sim's central perspective, so if your mouse drifts, just move it back to realign your focus. You can play the game in this mode, but I wouldn't recommend it. It can be quite buggy and also a bit motion sickness inducing. This marker also allows you to select things that your Sims can interact with. So, whoa. See what I mean by glitchy and motion sickness inducing? So if I click on this other Sim, it gives me all of the abilities to interact with this Sim, so I can do a friendly introduction.
So.
There we are. I'm just gonna exit out of it, and to do that, you just hit the escape key, and you'll return to your previous camera view. Then there is the cinematic camera mode, also known as tab mode. Now this works both in build mode and live mode, and honestly, it is one of my favorite camera modes. If you've watched my live streams here on YouTube or over on Twitch, you've definitely seen me use this to give tours of my Sims' homes or to grab epic screenshots. To activate this mode, you just hit tab. The entire game UI disappears, and you're given full control of your camera with your mouse and keyboard. Now, I typically use the WASD keys to move around, Z and X to zoom in and out, though you can still use your scroll wheel for zooming just like in regular gameplay. The Q key moves you down, and the E key moves you up. You can even use the arrow keys to go forwards, backwards, left, and right. If you move the camera to a specific angle, this kind of gives you like a first-person view without the motion sickness, which is fantastic. And this, to me, makes it feel like you're kind of like a non-playable observer. So you can walk around, as you see here, and just explore the world as much as you want. This is fantastic for simulating walks, going up or down stairs. So let me show you the stairs real quick. So if we go back to my build here, we go into build mode, and I grab some stairs. Now let's zoom in, hit the tab mode, and align ourselves as though we were an actual Sim in the game. We can actually climb up the stairs. or make it look like we're climbing up the stairs. There's loads of stuff that you can do with this camera mode, so feel free to play around with it. To exit the camera mode, either press the tab key again or escape, and your UI will reappear. The best part, it leaves you exactly where you left off. So if you're exploring your game and you accidentally click away, just press tab again and you're right back in the action. So I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to go for a walk over here to the BFF's house. Well, a flyby, I should say, over to the BFF's house. There we are. And if we hit tab, there we are, right back in build mode, and we're able to see our lot easily. Friends, if you have any questions on this topic or you want to know more, please feel free to pop into my live streams. I live stream The Sims 4 every Wednesday and Thursday, or leave your questions in the comment section below. Special thanks to my paid members as always. If you'd like to see your name at the end of each video like this, please click the join button. And if you're having problems with the Sims 4 camera, check out the next video in the series just over here.